Hey everybody, it's Mike COOCH. I want to go ahead and walk you through my first crack at lead generation campaigns using Facebook ads for the chiropractic client in Denver, and just kind of show you my process for getting these initial campaigns launched, testing different variables, and where we go from here. So first campaign, the first campaigns that I launch, really for any Facebook campaigns that I do, whether it's for lead gen for local businesses or selling products online or anything like that, I try not to make too many assumptions about who my market is and what they're going to respond to. I find that the more I kind of play dumb, the better the results I get are, the better the results that I get from my campaigns. And I think the reason for that is, we all operate with our own biases and assumptions in the way that we see the world, but that's not necessarily the way that the mass, majority of people that you're advertising see the world. So, like I said, I try as much as possible not to make too many assumptions. I do, of course, do research and do homework and try and learn about the market. But then I like to let data and testing show me the way forward as much as possible. So I've launched this campaign. I've had it running now for a couple weeks, I think, and I've made some changes to it as I've gone here. So you can see right now it says it's mobile and it's women, and I put as of 6/16, and that's because after a handful of days of running it, I decided to just focus on women with this campaign. I talked to my good friend Billy Jean, who does a lot of local lead gen using Facebook, and he has some chiropractic clients. And he told me, primarily women age, I think he said 35 to 55 is who he goes after. And so I fired up my campaigns knowing that. He told me that. But I actually went after men, women. I did mobile, I did desktop, and I did age ranges, I think, from 35 to 65, breaking up into 10-year increments. So 35, 45, 45, 55, 55, 65, essentially. And, just tested things that way just to see what would happen. Like I said, I try not to make too many assumptions. So I also, you can see here, what I always do is I always start with at least 3 different images. Images are incredibly important in attracting people to your ads, so I always start with a few different images. It's always amazing to me to see what works best. These images, I'm inside Ad Espresso, by the way. That's what I use to manage my Facebook campaign, so that's what this interface is that you're seeing. But I started with an approach of using images that were kind of like focused on the lifestyle, the active lifestyle in Colorado. So you can see this is a woman hiking, this is a man hiking and looking over this lake view at the mountains, and then this is a picture of a woman rock climbing. It's my daughter. This is a picture of her rock climbing at her gym in San Diego, and I just thought it was a good picture for this audience potentially. And then what I did is I put the picture of the head chiropractor, the founder of this business, on each of the images, and then put the logo of the chiropractic office as well. I just thought, having a person there, having that personal touch and being able to see who the person is, kind of the same theory behind why real estate agents do that as well. Like there's supposedly, that personal connection, being able to see hopefully an attractive person, which this guy is, he's an attractive guy, that increases response to ads. So put him on there, and like I said, I ran these kind of lifestyle focused images rather than like chiropractic office images, and always very interesting to see, but pretty cool. My daughter's rock climbing picture actually smoked the other ads. You can see right now, total over the last 30 days, the click-through rate has fallen down below this one, but that's because we've been running it for a while now to the same pretty small audience. It was higher than the other two and had a lower cost per click than the other two, and was actually, most importantly, generating conversions. So why this ad would create conversions when this one didn't, even though it was getting clicks, who knows? But this one was winning. You can see here $80 cost per acquisition on the lead in total. It's actually lower than that. This pixel wasn't tracking 100%. One, because Facebook pixels never track 100%, but 2, I actually screwed up the pixel for the last 4 days. I went in there and made some changes, and I goofed up some of the code. So we've been getting leads here over the last several days, but nothing's been showing up in the conversion. So let's call that a $70 cost per acquisition, which is not bad. We're charging $100 for these leads, so making some money. But obviously over time we will do better as we learn about this market. So some of the things that I learned, I ended up just focusing these ads on women over time. I tested a couple of different headlines. I always tested a couple of different headlines. You can see here, get back pain relief for only $19, $224 value, or new patient exam, just $19, $224 value. You can probably guess. Let's see here, graph that. Well, that's not a very good report, is it? Here, let's do this, and we'll just leave that alone. Let's do click-through rate on this, and you can see the headline in red there, get back pain relief, pretty significantly better than the new patient exam. It started to level out here over time, but that's actually, again, we paused this new patient exam one because it wasn't performing, and at Espresso actually, once you pause it, it just flatlined it. So the get back pain relief, which makes sense, it's more of a benefit, right? Somebody is in pain, it's more of a benefit statement than a new patient exam for sure, and it was doing much better than new patient exam in terms of click-through rate. So I always test copy, I always test images, and then like I said, I try not to make too many assumptions, and I just kind of throw stuff out there. So in this particular campaign, let's see here, you can see here 35 to 45, 46 to 55, and 56 to 65. It was male female originally, and it was within 10 miles of Denver. I can get that targeting much better for these guys, but I just kind of, they have 6 offices all around Denver, so I just kind of threw out there Denver plus 10 miles just to see what we might be able to get to work. You can see here, interesting. So we've got 37 clicks from the 46 to 55 age group, 11 from 56 to 65. So getting more of a response from this 46 to 55 age group, and just take all of this data and just use it to continue to do testing and see what improvements I can make. So we'll go through here. Let me just show you some of the additional things that I started testing based on that initial round of data. So because that rock climbing image was doing so well, I put a campaign out there focused on rock climbers and tested that. It did not do horribly at all. It did not necessarily do great. You can see here one conversion, $93 spent. So obviously not fantastic, and I ended up pausing it. And then let's see here. We also did, or have going. So after I did those lifestyle images, I decided, okay, the lifestyle images maybe aren't getting the click-through rates and the cost per click that I would like. So I went ahead and fired up very similar campaigns, but using chiropractic images. And let's go to the ads reporting here, and I'll show you. So you can see here I got a few different images. One chiropractor adjusting a woman's back on her side. One chiropractor talking to a woman, pointing out the vertebrae and spine. And then one with a woman laying here getting an adjustment to her neck. This image definitely outperformed the others, and so that's the one that I have running right now. And it's interesting to see how these chiropractic images did compared to the lifestyle images, which again was a little bit surprising to me, but you never know until you test. But you can see 0.639 average click-through rate versus 0.448, and look at the difference that makes in dollar value. $4.80 cost per click versus $3.90 cost per click. That's a big deal. Okay, that's a real big deal in terms of making these campaigns actually work. Okay, you've got to do everything that you possibly can to get that click-through rate up and to get your cost per click down. So just having these chiropractic images has made a really big deal for our campaigns. Other thing is, I always have retargeting ads going once I've fired up a campaign and I'm collecting data on that pixel. So this one, we finally just got enough data on our pixel to start using this, and this is just right-hand side ads, and we've only had them running one day here. And I don't know what Facebook has going on here, 150 impressions and a penny spent. I think that's just because our audience is still too small, and Facebook doesn't want to let you retarget if your audience is real small. But we have that going so that we will be collecting data on it all the time. Let's see here. I also took the chiropractic images and created a similar campaign, but going after very specific interests related to chiropractic. So interests like back pain, sciatica, things like that. And you can see we're getting a really nice click-through rate on these, but we do not have we don't have any conversions yet. So we'll see here. Campaigns on Facebook, it can take you a while to get conversions going as Facebook optimizes and finds your audience. So we'll see if we can get this campaign to work. I hope so. We got a nice click-through rate, got a nice cost per click going. So we'll see what we can do there. But really, this is the process for me. I'm a big believer in, like I said, spend some money and don't assume too much, and just let the data tell you where to go, and then just consistently make changes, make tests, do tests, make little tweaks, and just improve over time. Just constantly improving over time, finding what works and what doesn't work. So, right now we are generating enough leads that we are, slightly profitable on these campaigns already, and we're really just getting started. I mean, I know so little about this market, and we're already generating cash. And that's a point I want to stress for you guys, is that if you can just get a client that will pay you on a per lead basis, you have the opportunity now to create this asset. And some people have asked, what is the asset, Mike? Well, the asset is the knowledge you have about the campaigns and what works in this market, your pixel data. As you grow your pixel data in a given vertical, that becomes super, super, super powerful, because that pixel is going to be loaded up with data now about that industry, and you're going to be able to use that to create new campaigns and optimize new campaigns quickly. You're learning, all the details about what campaign or what images work, what offers work. You're building up your own domain, right? All of that is so valuable. And right now, I'm getting paid to do that. I'm getting paid to build that knowledge and to build that asset. And I will just continue working this until I get it really nicely profitable, and I can take this exact same structure and roll it out to as many chiropractors as I want. And I see way too many people are think way too short term about this stuff, and they think, oh, I fired up ads and I'm not, just gushing profits after the first week. You got to give yourself a little bit of grace. You have to have a little bit of patience and realize that, building a business takes a little bit of work, right? And so going into a new market like this and tackling this, it takes a little bit of work. But right now, I'm not losing money, and I'm getting, paid to figure this out and to build this asset. So what I will do is I will continue optimizing this until I get this nailed down. And I'm going to show you, what we're doing with landing pages, because landing pages are a huge opportunity for us with these campaigns. Right now, the landing pages are converting terribly. So whatever we can do to get our landing pages converting at just a slightly more normal rate will give us huge returns. And then we're going to try some different campaign strategies all together. We're going to do some contests and giveaways and things like that. I've had great success with those. And I think that by doing those, we're really going to be able to ramp up our results with these campaigns pretty darn aggressively. So that's first crack at campaigns. Again, multiple images, multiple headlines and copy. Be a little bit more broad with your audience than maybe you think you should be initially, and just put some money into these things and let them run. Okay, have your pixel set up, be growing your audience on your pixel, but have a little bit of patience. Okay, get this stuff out there, just do some tests, keep on testing and tweaking and moving things forward, and you will continue to learn and to optimize the results around these campaigns.